Dear viewers, welcome to the course Data Structures and Applications. This is session 7.1 of Module 1. This session covers Introduction to Strings, Basic Terminologies of Strings, and Storing of Strings. Introduction to String. As you all know that string is a sequence of character. It's a collection of characters. In computer science, strings are more often used than numbers. We have all used text editors for editing programs and documents. Some of the important operations which are used on strings are searching for a word, find and replace operations, etc. So most commonly performed operation on strings are string length. To perform the string length operation, we have a built-in function strlen, then string concatenation strcat to concatenate two strings, then string copy to copy a string from one to another strcpy, and at the end of this module we are going to study the different string matching algorithm. So now we'll see how to declare a character array or how to store a string to a character array. Character name of the array is greeting and array is equal to hello. In this case, this particular statement is going to create an array of size that is equal to the length of the string. So following is the memory allocation for the declared variable greeting. So here this is the name of the variable. So it's going to declare one more than the number of characters in the given string. That is because at the end of the string you are going to store the null character to indicate the end of the string. So since it is an array, it will be associated with a index. So index value is always integer, irrespective of the type of the array. Index value is always integer. So size of the string or length of the string is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we have allocated 6 location. So this is because the number of locations in a character array is one more than the number of characters in the string to store the null character at the end of the string to indicate the end of the string. And as I already mentioned in the previous session that each and every memory location will be associated with some base address. So these are the base addresses of each and every location of this character array. So this is the base address or starting address of a array, and this is the address of a character E. This is the address of L, L, O, and a null character. So this is how we can declare an array and assign the value to a declared array. So basic terminology of a string. Each programming language contains a character set that is used to communicate with the computer. As you all know that programming languages are used to communicate with the computer. That programming language generally made up of alphabets. So alphabets, it may be uppercase or lowercase letters. Alphabets are found from A to Z, then digits from 0 to 9, and special characters plus, minus, star, etc. These are some of the special character. From these special symbols, we have used these special symbols are used to form a programming language. Storing of strings. There are three types of structures. That is, three types of string storing methods available in the programming languages. So one is fixed length structure. Second one is variable length structure with the fixed maximum. Third one is by using the concept of linked list, you are going to store the characters of the given string. So let us start with fixed length structure. In the fixed length structure method of storing a string, here we are going to fix the size of the string irrespective of the number of characters in the string. In a fixed length storage, each line of a print is viewed as a record where all records have the same length. Irrespective of the number of characters in the string, all records will be having the same length. That is where each record accommodates the same number of characters. You can have a maximum of 80 characters in each record. Since data are frequently input on terminal with 80 column image or using 80 columns code, we will assume our records have length 80 unless otherwise stated implies. So let us see how this fixed length structure works by taking one simple example. So see here, this is the given example. So let us assume that you have this many number of statements in our program. So first statement is C program, second statement is read x comma y, third statement is print x comma y. So now we'll see how these three lines of code is going to be stored using fixed length structure. So as I already mentioned that for each of the record irrespective of the size, so it will allocate a block of memory, it will allocate a block of memory. Size of this is 8, so each record length will be equal to 8. So let us assume that starting address of this is 200, so C is stored here, then two blank spaces, then program, then remaining will be stored with some garbage value, so remaining locations are empty. Then after that, after the 0 to 79, 0 to 79 is reserved for this record. Then from 80, so it will store the next record. From 80 it will store the next record, then empty spaces, then it will store the next record. So records are stored sequentially in a computer memory. So irrespective of the size of the record, irrespective of the size of the record, it will allocate 80 blocks for each of the record. Size of each of the record is fixed, size of each of the record is fixed. So the main disadvantage of this fixed length structure is that time wasted reading an entire record if most of the storage consists of inessential blank spaces. So because we don't know that where actually the particular string is going to be ended, so that's why you have to read entire character, or you have to read the entire record. Sorry, you have to read entire record if you wanted to read a particular string. So certain records may require more space than available, since you know that size of each record is 80, you can store only 80 characters. So there are some situation where a record requires more than 80 characters. That time it is difficult to accommodate the space for such type of a record. When the correction consists of more or fewer characters than the original text, changing a misspelled word requires the entire record to be changed. Suppose if you have 80 character in a record, you need to change any two characters, so you have to replace all the entire 80 characters if you wanted to correct a mistake in a misspelled word. So this is the major disadvantage of a fixed length structure. So to overcome the disadvantage of the first method, you can make use of the variable length structure with the fixed maximum. Here length of the record is equal to the maximum length of a record in a given example. The storage of a variable length string in a memory cells with a fixed length can be done in two general ways. So here the end of the string can be represented by using a dollar symbol, or you can list the length of the string as an additional item in the pointer array. So let us take one simple example. Assume that this is the given example. This is the given example. So first statement is C program printing two integer in increasing order. Then read star comma j comma k if j less than k, then print. This is the given example. We'll see how to store these strings in a fixed variable length structure with a fixed maximum. As I already mentioned that size of each record is equal to the maximum length of any record in a given example. Here this record consists of maximum number of characters to store. So therefore all the records is equal to this size. All the record is equal to this size. And at the end of the string we are storing a null character, so that no need of reading the entire record, no need of reading entire record, you can read up to this symbol. So here after this you are storing a dollar symbol at the end, so that you can avoid reading the entire record. So soon after reading the dollar symbol you will come to know that the string is going to be ended over here. Then next is this one. So like this you can store, you can create a pointer array, you can create a pointer array, and this pointer array is pointing to each of the record. So address of this record is available here, address of this record is available here. So address of this is here, address of this is here. So no need of sequentially read the records here, you can access the particular record by knowing the address of each of the record here. So in the second method you can have one more location in a pointer array, one more location in a pointer array. So this location indicates the size of the each record, size of each record. Size of the first record is 55, size of the second record is 18. So that after reading 55 characters, we'll come to know that that is the end of the array. So that's the end of the character array. No need of having a dollar symbol at the end. So here you don't know the size of a record, actual size of the record. That's why you are placing the dollar at the end to indicate the end of the array. But here we have calculated the length of the record, length of each record, and we have that value available with us, and that is stored in a different location of a pointer array. So here this is a pointer array because it is pointing to the particular record by holding the address of this record here. So length of this is 18. So length of this second record is 18. It is stored here. So that after reading 18 characters, we will come to know that we have reached the end of the string. So no need of the entire record. So then size of this is 22, this is 20, and this is 17. Like this, you can overcome the disadvantages that are encountered in the previous method. The last method is linked storage. Most extensive word processing applications, strings are stored by means of linked list. In a one-way linked list, linear order sequence of memory cells called nodes, where each node contains an item called link, which points to the next node in the list. That is, which consists the address of the next node. So, linked list is a collection of 0 or more number of nodes. Each node in the linked list consists of two fields in it. So, this is the data field and this is the link field. To the data field, you are going to store the actual data, and in the link field, you are storing the address of the next node. So, since it's holding the address of the next node, this node is pointing to here. So, this is the collection of a node. So, this type of linked list concepts are used to store the strings. So, for example, I wanted to store a string to be or not to be. So, like this, the strings are going to be stored. T is stored here, then link field, then next node. So, one character per node, you can store like this. So, here after TO, there is a blank space. Blank space is stored in a separate node. Or if you wanted to store more than one character, so you can split the data field of a node into more than one and store as many number of as you want, and you store the null or you store the address of a next node in the link field of the previous node, and at the end of a node you are storing the null value in the last node. So like this way you can store a string in a linked storage. So to store the string, there are three methods. So one is fixed length structure. Second one is variable length structure with the fixed maximum, and third one is linked storage. These are the three methods available in the programming language to store the string. So in this session, we discussed about string, what is string, what are the operations that can be performed on a string, and what are the basic terminologies of a string. And then we have studied the different methods to store the strings in the programming language. In the next session, we are going to study the last operation, that is string matching algorithms, in the next session. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.